You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
Welcome everybody to episode number 40. Oh, we're at episode number 40 already of the Batter Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Garan. Alongside me, as always, Mr. Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
Doing fantastic. I mean, what a win last night. I'm actually a little mad, too. I'm a little mad. I'll explain why a little bit later, but big win, man. Big win for the Heat going into the new year with 3 games over 500. And we were just talking about it a couple minutes ago. 3 games ago, we were shit. And now we're the best team in the East again, baby.
Well, the offense is definitely clicking again. I think it's good. Obviously, big win because you now won 3 in a row, which you needed because you were just fucking losing 9 out of 11. You'll take anything you can get. I think it sucks that that Jokic went down at the end of the first half because it would have been nice to get this dub over a Nugget team with Jokic. But Jokic was out, Cam Johnson was out, Aaron Gordon was out. I believe one of the other starters was out. I forgot who it was. But once Jokic goes out, they literally only have Jamal Murray as a regular starter. So I'm not gonna say it's just disappointing. I just wish they would have won against a full Nuggets team because it would have felt even better. But the reason that I wouldn't say it's disappointing, we lost to the Kings. Got our ass kicked by the Kings. We lost to a Cleveland Cavs team that was resting everybody. We lost to a Knicks team that was out with Jalen Brunson. I don't know if Mitchell Robinson was playing that game either. So we've lost these type of games already this year, right? So you can't be like, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter because we weren't able to do this a month ago. So we won these games now. It would have been nicer to do it with the Jokic, obviously, but they did it. They won. That's all that matters. They saw blood in the water and they didn't take their foot off the pedal. They came out even stronger in the third quarter after Jokic went down, after the Nuggets made that comeback back with Jokic in the second quarter. How the game turns out if Jokic is still playing, I don't know, because he was playing pretty well. But they won and 18 and 15 now, and thank goodness because things were starting to look kind of nasty for a little while there.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, how you're putting it out there in terms of, what happened with Jokic and all that. I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, you want to beat a team at full strength, but at the end of the day, you can only beat the players that are in front of you. And Jokic, hopefully he it's not anything serious and it gets better. He had 21 points before he got hurt, eight assists, 5 rebounds. I mean, he was tearing it up. And the Heat were still winning though.
Did they go into the half tied? I think, right?
No. They were winning.
No, they were winning by 2, I believe, because he tied the game at 63 with like 14 seconds left. Then Jaime brought the ball down, and then he went at, was it Spencer Jones? And then Spencer Jones kind of backed into Jokic, which is what injured him. And then Khalil Ware got the rebound or easy dunk because Jokic was on the ground. So, yeah, so they were up by 2, but Jokic had just tied the game. They hadn't even taken the lead.
No, it was actually tied. I'm looking at the stats.
It was tied.
63-63.
Okay. So it was tied. So they were losing by 2 before Khalil Ware got that dunk with Jokic on the floor. So yeah, so the Nuggets had gotten their stuff together. But like I said, third quarter came around and they didn't mess around. They were on fire. I mean, it felt like Khalil Ware and
10 threes in that third quarter.
Well, I guess let's get into the players. Jovic. Like, what's the name of the kid from the movie The Rookie of the Year? Because I'm going to start calling him that because
Henry Rowan Gardner.
Is it Henry?
Yeah.
That's it. To me, he's Henry Jovic now because he messed up his arm and all of a sudden he's absolutely balling. It's crazy that you remember that name.
Yeah, Henry, it's one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies. And Norman Powell actually said something similar to that. He said after the game when they were interviewing him, he's like, we've told Jovic we don't want the old Jovic back. We want this new Jovic after the injury. So you're not the only one thinking that he's Henry Rowan Gardner. There's other people around the NBA that are thinking that he could be Henry Rowan Gardner too.
Yeah, man. Like, he was playing great. And it's the Nuggets came out with a game plan. They were going to play zone. They were not going to allow us to get into the paint. They were going to force us to shoot outside. And we've been shooting 40 from outside up until recently. but you start shooting almost 50% from three, that breaks the zone. And another thing is that when we got out in transition, we had an opportunity, and as soon as we got out in transition, we attacked them immediately, and we didn't allow them to set up in that zone. I thought that he did a good job, and the zone just they ended up giving up on the zone. I don't know if it had to do anything with Jokic being out, but they gave up on the zone because the Heat were just shooting very well from outside, and you almost forced them out of the zone.
Yeah, I mean, they shot 48% on threes, 54% overall, 22 out of 46. And like I said, in that third quarter, they made 10 threes. So almost half of the threes they made in that third quarter. Usually we're talking about the third quarter with how terrible the Heat come out after the half. And yesterday was nothing but an amazing third quarter, really an amazing second half, with the Heat putting up 84 points, a franchise record for the second game in a row, Danny. And I mean, if they continue with this offense, if they can continue playing with this offense, continue to force turnovers, continue to get on the break and get some fast break points. I mean, we need to see this team. But if we do see this team, this is a top 4, top 3 team in the East, and that's not me being a homer. That's just me looking at the facts.
I was surprised that Paul Larson didn't start. He's been playing so well. I remember we were talking about like, what's going to happen when Tyler and Bam come back? Well,
When he got
Paul
injured.
ended up going back. Well, he ended up getting injured, yeah. But that was after the fact. That was in the fourth quarter, I think, on a fast break. So Pell didn't start, which is a little surprising to me. But they had a good first quarter also. They had a good 3.5 quarters, because in the second quarter they were playing pretty well also. It was towards the latter part of that second quarter where all of a sudden the Nuggets went on that run and Jokic was leading the charge. So they had a solid game against this Nugget team. For outside of maybe 6 or 7 minutes in that second quarter, I thought Miami was the better team overall. But again, the Nuggets were short, man. So that does kind of leave you. You don't want to get too happy about it, because
Too
you
comfortable,
understand. Yeah, you understand that this wasn't the regular Nuggets team, but they are a very solid team. All right, Jaime and Nico are leading the charge in the second unit. And Nico, what else could you say? Henry Jovic is doing great things, shooting lights out. I love seeing him with the ball in transition. He's finishing at the rim. Jaime is being as aggressive as he was in the beginning of the year. There was a period there for like 2 or 3 weeks where I was like, maybe we got a little ahead of ourselves with him. He's back to it. It's just all good things. Khalil Ware, 3 for 6 from three. He only had 9 rebounds. And I say only because I've gotten accustomed to seeing like 16, 17 from him. But he had more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. Like, we have needed Khalil Ware on the offensive board so much, and he has really become that piece that we were missing for those offensive rebounds to start the year, where that was a constant conversation, and we don't even think about that anymore.
Yeah, and I really want to point out the second unit, right? The plus minus of the second unit, Danny. 24 for Drew Smith, plus 24 for Jovic, plus 23 for Jaime Jaquez Jr. And the new man of that second unit, because we've seen him play so much with that second unit, Andrew Wiggs, plus 28, Danny. That is an insane plus minus number. And he had 19 points, 4 of 7 from 3. It was an absolutely beautiful masterpiece last night in terms of offense. I mean, Jaime Jaquez with 11 assists, and Nikola Jovic, like you said, 22 points, 5 of 8 from 3, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, that second unit is absolutely balling, and we need them, man. We need them because they really set the tone with with the other team in the second and third quarter.
Andrew Wiggins is just such an odd person to me, because I feel like Andrew Wiggins can be so good and then he'll just disappear for a few games at a time. Maybe playing with the second unit a little more, give him some freedom. But when he's playing like this, this team looks really good. And now the question: when the hell does Tyler Hero come back, and what happens when Tyler Hero comes back? Because the struggles offensively started with him out. Most of those losses in the 9 out of 11 losses was with him out, but they finally figured it out again. Like, what happens when he comes back? Like, I don't want to blame him again. I think he's a good scorer. He's a great shooter. He's the best shooter we have on the team, probably. But I don't know what happens when he comes back now. I really hope that when he comes back, uh, things can still look as nice as they've been looking recently. And now Paul Larson's out. I don't want to see Fontecchio there. Fontecchio, hey, was it Simone Bagnate? I don't want to see it because that's it. I lost the trust in him.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Kaz in that spot. You know, we saw
3
him
minutes yesterday.
Yeah, I know he didn't play that much, but it was also a matchup issue, and Spo seemed to go to Davion Mitchell when when um when Pelle Larson got hurt. So look, it's going to be interesting, right? It's going to be interesting. I know we were talking about Tyler Hero when he comes back. I don't think he should come back. I think he should just get traded. I think that he doesn't fit into this style of play. He just doesn't fit in here anymore, and I would be okay with the Heat trading him and bringing back another big asset this way.
If Giannis wasn't an option, because I've told you a couple times, I don't think Giannis comes here. But if Giannis isn't an option, are you still looking to trade for somebody, or are you going to ride it out with this team?
No, I think you have to look to improve. You have to look to get another playmaker. You have to look and get, if it's not Giannis, I know that that we've heard that Kawhi Leonard could be possibly available. I mean, there's been a lot of different trade rumors around the NBA of different teams and different players being attached or named in Heat trade scenarios. So I think the Heat have to go out and get somebody. I think they'll be active in the trade market, and Tyler Hero right now, even though he hasn't played, he's probably your biggest trade piece. Him and Khalil Ware, unfortunately. So it looks like whatever package will go out. It'll depend on who's going to be coming back. But right now, your two biggest trade chips are Khalil Ware and Tyler Hero.
I'll lose my mind if they trade a Khalil Ware for a fucking Kawhi Leonard. You didn't do it for Kevin Durant, and you're gonna give it to part-time Kawhi Leonard? Hell no. Kawhi Leonard never he every go back every time that the Clippers have been in the playoffs, he plays a couple games and then he sits out the rest. Like, he is more injury prone than Tyler Hero. No way, you do not want any Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, yeah, when he plays, he's great, but that's when he plays. I would know. I want no parts of Kawhi Leonard. Absolutely not.
All right.
Okay, I'll run it with this team. I'd rather run it with this team and see where we go instead of Kawhi Leonard. Oh my god. We are at the moment. Look at the standings now. Let me just pull them up here while you filibuster. We are 18 and 15.
We were one game back of the 4 seed yesterday, or a couple days ago when we put out that last episode. So we should be right there. No?
Yes, at the moment we are the 6th seed. I'm about to pull it up right now on screen. We are the 6th seed in the NBA, and we are how many games? We are we're tied for the 5th seed with Orlando.
There you go.
We are a game and a half back of the 4th seed. We are 2 games back of the 3rd seed. There's a good chance that Detroit and New York kind of just keep those top 2 seeds, but 3 through 8 are going to be fighting each other off to the very end of the season. And I'm pretty confident. We said that the Heat are going to be a top 4 team, and I still think that that's going to happen. It seems like they've now figured it out, right? They're now incorporating more pick and rolls, right? They were completely against running any pick and rolls at the beginning of the season. They've now, it's like this year that they've just been experimenting and no pick and rolls. It's put some pick and rolls. They've just been playing with what's going on, and I think that it's finally starting to come together. I think that they could finish top 4. But yeah, at the moment they are tied for 5th with Orlando and just 2 games back of the 3rd seed.
Can I tell you why I'm pissed?
I forgot you told me you were pissed. That's right. Why are you pissed?
We had 135 points with about 6 minutes left. And we couldn't get to 150.
Yeah.
We couldn't get to 150. What was that? What was that? And they were just putting up threes all over the place at the end of the game. They should have been driving the basket. I was sure that they were going to get to 150 yesterday. And they were right there. They were 15 points away with 6 minutes left. What the heck did they do the last 6 minutes? Why couldn't they score 15 more points?
What's the most points that the Heat have ever scored in a game?
153.
153, yeah. Against the New Orleans Pelicans. It happened this year.
Yeah. And the second most highest is 147, I think, or 148. And that was in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm telling you, I was sure that they were going to break the franchise record last night.
It was 149 against the Denver Nuggets in 2018. Yeah. And then 147 last night. So this is the third most points ever scored by the Heat in team history. All right. Do you think that they scored more than 153 at any point this year?
Nah, I don't think so. But I would love for them to get to 150.
I mean, they could get to 153.
You think so? You think let's ask the fans.
What do the fans
think? What do the fans think? Will they break the franchise record of 153 points before the end of the season? That's what I want to know. I don't think so, but I think they can have a chance to get to 150.
I'll tell you that they're going to break it, and it's going to be Tyler Hero that hits that bucket to go over to 153.
Your son's going to be so happy.
I know, man. I'm trying to keep him in basketball, but Tyler Hero's never effing playing. Like, dude.
I told you got to make him.
I'm trying. He's like, is Tyler Hero playing today? I said, no, he's not. But, but Bam is coming back. He's like, oh, okay. And then he starts fucking walking away. I'm like, God damn it, man. I bought, you know what? I bought him a really cool basketball. I don't have it here. A really cool basketball for Christmas. It's an indoor basketball. And like it makes sound, but like it's very like it's quiet. Like it's almost like a thud instead of a loud bounce, which is really cool. So he's been bouncing the ball around the house because I don't know if anybody's ever heard of these silent balls, but it's pretty cool. If you ever have kids that are into basketball and they like bounce the ball inside the house, and the parents are like, stop, don't bounce the ball inside the house. Like this ball is made for it, and it's really cool. So we're not getting promoted by them. That's why I haven't told you what company it is, but you know.
No, tell me off air and teach him the crossover.
Yeah. All right, Solana, any final words?
No, man. Let's get to 150. Let's get to 150. That's all I want, just to get to 150. And luckily, hopefully, I bet that game that they're gonna break 150, and I make a lot of money.
Well, here we go. 18-15, 3-game winning streak, feeling good going into 2026. And then obviously the first game we play is against the Pistons. So the Pistons, that loss is kind of what I felt sent us in a tailspin after Thanksgiving. Let's see what happens after New Year's when we play them, because we lost to them. We beat the Clippers, and then it was downhill after that. So let's see what happens when we play the Pistons this time. Hopefully, look, if we can get that statement win, all of a sudden it's like we'll have another episode. Are the Heat the best team in the East?
I mean, I'm not going to look like such a joker.
You might. All right. If you're listening on audio, please leave us 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. And we will be back next year in 2026 talking about the Heat against the Detroit Pistons. So I hope everybody has a happy new year. Enjoy yourselves. And thank you for kicking with us. 2025, 40 episodes in. If you've been hanging out with us for the last couple of weeks or months, we appreciate you. And we'll be back to do this again in 2026. So until the next one, have a good one.